I'm going to call the meeting to order, guys, at 6, just after 6. Thank you. On June 2nd, July 2nd, get it right. All right. Maricela, will you do the roll call?
Commissioner Alexander,
Present.
Commissioner Meyer,
Present.
Commissioner Royden,
Here.
Commissioner Olieta Reed. Vice Chair LeBeau. Chair Costello,
Here.
we have a quorum.
Thank you. So first item is to review the agenda, and Mr. Gonzalez has something about the agenda.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, let me, I'd like to apologize about the confusion on today's meeting. I forgot to thoroughly review the agenda before it was posted, and the wrong time was on the agenda. So my deepest apologies for that. At this time, I'd like to request to move one item on the agenda from, it is currently item 5C under business. I would like to move that item to the top of the list and make that item 5A.
I'll make that motion to move item 5C to item number 1.
And is there a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We've moved agenda item 5C to 5A. And now there's are there any other items to add to the agenda from commissioners? No. Okay, then public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the commission on matters within the jurisdiction of the city of Seaside, but not on this agenda, may do so during the public comment for a period of up to 3 minutes. Comments on specific agenda items are heard under that item. For the public record, anyone? No. All right, so on to 5C, which is now 5A. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you very much. So what I would like to do tonight is present to you, sort of go back to the basics of the purpose of the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. And I prepared a very short and small presentation. I'll take questions at the end, and I will also propose a recommendation as well. So the Neighborhood Improvement Commission was established or first introduced on December 3rd of 1981, and it was adopted by the City Council on September 7th of 1982. It is codified in the City of Seaside Municipal Code, Chapter 2.24. And the purpose of the NIC is to make recommendations to the City Council and advise the council on matters pertaining to the general improvement of the neighborhoods throughout the city of Seaside. The objectives of the NIC, which are stated in section 2.24.040 of the Muni Code, number 1, or A, encourage citizens to beautify and upgrade their property. B, encourage citizens to voluntarily comply with the various city codes. And C, make recommendations to the city council on ways to improve the appearance of the city and to elicit voluntary cooperation to beautify and minimize vandalism to the city. D, work with service clubs, civic organizations as appropriate to help clean up the city and promote and implement programs which will achieve the goal. E, work towards the establishment of neighborhood organizations, including neighborhood watch groups to encourage beautification, reduce vandalism in the neighborhoods. F, encourage citizens and merchants to decorate their homes and businesses with decorations during the holiday season. And G, conduct administrative hearings relating to property and maintenance. What would be the next steps? Would be to establish a social media presence for the NIC in where you would be able to showcase your accomplishments, receive community input, and conduct community outreach. Hold an NIC retreat to create the 24-25 work plan where you can develop projects, determine how you would do that outreach, and develop a communications plan to strengthen the community participation. Recommendation. The commission accepts staff's recommendation to hold a neighborhood improvement commission retreat to develop the 24-25 work plan and develop a community outreach program. That's the end of my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Sure. We do have some copies of the slides prepared for you. I was planning on handing them out at the end of the meeting.
Oh, excellent. Questions? Dennis?
Thank you, Joan, and thank you for the presentation. Can we? She gets back, or are you?
Sure.
Oh, can we go back to, I think, the goals for the ABC? Or the objectives, rather. Okay, thank you. So I know that we have to make a work plan for this coming years. We do for every year. And looking back over this, it's been a while since I've seen these. This is my second go around with the NIC, and I have to say it's been quite a while. And I do like the idea of getting back into the retreats. We used to do those as well. But I kind of think that we are known. We take pride in being a commission that goes out and does projects. Whether they get involved with partnering organizations such as the Red Cross with our small sound the alarm, where we do smoke alarm installations, which we've done at least once now, and look forward to doing again in the future. And of course, we have our bi-yearly, our biannual cleanup, which Greenway supports. But those aren't sort of through the guise of making recommendations and encouraging. I guess they do encourage citizens, but I'm just wondering whether or not we're doing this the right way. If we can still go and look for the projects that we want to take under our wing for the year, or is it something that we have to procedurally we need to go in front of the council or any other group. Yeah, that's it. I know you encourage, make recommendations, but there's nothing in the A through G that just basically says that we can find projects that we think are necessary to help our neighborhoods.
So the
I'm
land,
gonna disagree with that.
Just a second, let's get a response and then.
the language is directly from the municipal code. In terms of the cleanups, that have been done. So what would happen is at this retreat, we would develop a list of projects. I would take that list and then it would be vetted. Number one, we would look at, is it a CIP project or not? If it is, what is the cost or what would be the cost to implement that? And we would look at that. And then we would come back and would present that information to you and then make those decisions. Once we've established that work plan, that list, and then yes, we do have to present it to the city council and get their approval.
Okay, so it just seems that I'm misunderstanding the process. It's, we get a work plan, get the approval, then we just go ahead about our work problem, our work plan. Okay, thank you.
Shonda, you had a question, you had something?
I wanted to just sort of kind of maybe clarify for Dennis what I understand it to be.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a question, okay, so number C says make recommendations to the city council on ways to improve. That's when he talks about the projects. What is Dennis talking about? Is he talking about the projects on the projects that are what we're soliciting the other commissions to help us on ways to beautify and improve the city? Or are you talking about things like the dumpsters?
Through the chair, in response, like the dumpsters, these are projects that we have basically either invented or taken on ourselves. And from my earliest memory, did not seek.
Yearly
Or
approval.
we didn't accept, well, we would have accepted, didn't seek approval by the city council to engage in these projects.
Oh,
Right. Such as,
what sign? What welcome
Okay,
sign?
you guys hang on, we're getting off the track here. So, there are a couple that we still get approval every year, correct? Even though it's a given, like the dumpster, the cleanup, it's a given, but city council approves it each year. So that would be on the list. Do you have anything with that?
So any project that
Any
you
project.
place on this list, whether it's a cleanup, whether it's the sign or the bike racks or benches, all of these projects would be added to the project list. Staff would vet it for cost and time, et cetera. And then once your list or your work plan is finalized, then we would present it to the city council for their approval.
Got it.
And then once that approval is received, then we move forward with the project.
So,
Right. Oh, sorry.
oh, I just had a follow-up. So, okay, given what you said, so some of last year, we solicited the other commissions to provide us their ideas. And then we kind of vetted them. Would we then do that and then have our retreat and then discuss all the projects that we're wanting to move forward? I mean, I'm just trying to kind of get a thing in my head, a timeline in my head.
So my understanding is we don't have time for that. So we haven't heard what the timeline is yet. So Ray had a question, then we'll get back to the timeline and how we're gonna do that, all right?
So is this to eliminate, like we lost the money for the sign? The council said no to it and the money went back into the coffer.
That's correct. The project wasn't vetted in advance, right? So the cost of that sign was more than what was allocated to it.
Okay, so can I ask about timeline? Because that will answer hopefully that gives us what we need about how we reach out and come up with these.
Mhm. So we could hold a retreat here on site where either a committee is formed from the members of the commission or the full commission attends. And we sit and discuss the guidelines, the process, the outreach, all of that would be determined during this retreat. If it's a committee, then it would not be a public or special meeting. If it's the full commission, then it would be a
Special.
special meeting.
Okay. And when do we need this list to the city council? That's it.
It would be preferred that we begin working as soon as we can so that we can establish that.
Okay. July. I think is what we want to get, right?
Preferably. We will be having, there will only be potentially one council meeting this month. It's not sure yet, but we could either go to council possibly the second meeting of August or the first meeting of September.
Okay. So that gives us more time than I expect. Okay, great. So next step. All right,
I have a question.
yeah.
Um, Can you hear me now? What's I gonna say now? Oh, the retreat, I've been a part of that in previous years and used to hold it here. And as I recall, that was better than having a special meeting because you can talk freely and without all the protocols and things like that. It'd be more of an open discussion. Is that what you still think?
If the full committee attends, or if there is a quorum, then it is a special public meeting. If it is a committee, then it would be a meeting held at any location, conference room here. So there is no quorum.
So we could meet in two committees. And then we could discuss what we came up with at the meeting in July.
That is,
in August.
that is correct. You could have two committees to discuss several items on this agenda.
Why can't it be called a retreat for us? And just let it be? I mean, I don't know. When I was on the school board, we had a school board retreat with all of the board members and the superintendent. I don't know, we posted it, but we held it at a site, at an off-site. But we still got stuff done. How is that? How can we not, how can we do that? Get our stuff done without?
It being a formal meeting,
Yes.
we can't have all of us together. That was really, I studied a little bit. And that one we can't do. We can meet 3 and 3 informally, but a formal meeting is fine. I mean, that's fine to do a retreat together.
My understanding is that it would be a violation of the Brown Act, but it's something that I can follow up with the city clerk and the city attorney as well.
Because that would be kind of the word retreat or there would be
Less
weird-
formal.
Yeah, it'd be less formal, but we could still get more work done.
But we
Work
can't.
Through-
I mean, it's
through-
just not something we can do with
through
the
the
whole
chair?
commission.
But correct me if I'm wrong, it would only be a violation of the Brown Act if it was not open to the public. Correct? If it were open to the public, then it would be a special meeting, but
Spe-
And pardon, it would be open to the public, right? And the committee meeting would also be open to the public. It just would not be broadcast, right? But my understanding, again, if you have a quorum and the entire commission is there, then it is It has to be an open meeting. We do have to put it on Zoom. I can, again, I can check with the city attorney and the city clerk and confirm that.
As far as, my opinion is a special meeting is just fine. We just meet together and we come up with our ideas, our plan. We can even have some ideas ready for that meeting so that we can move it along quickly.
Mhm.
We all have ideas about what we want to do already. We can just pull them together in a meeting and branch out and reach out to the other commissions, reach out to the public, hang out at Mal's Market, talk to people. We can do all of that and meet in a
Mhm.
retreat kind of setting, but it will be an official meeting if we all
Yes.
meet. And we do all want to meet together. We don't want to meet in two groups. So, yeah, I agree. And there, is that all right? So we can move forward on a retreat and a time to get all this together? Yes, Ramona?
Madam Chair, could you just restate what you're saying?
Meet together in a retreat to come up with a plan and start on our ideas for the list of things that were a plan to reach out as well as coming up with our own ideas. Okay, we can also reach out before then, so we have something to share. You know, each of us come up with some ideas, drive around the city, look before we have that retreat.
Oh,
I was just gonna ask, will the other commissioners, recreation, all that, get enough time at a time before we have that first retreat?
I don't know, and I don't think that's a requirement for us, so that's a separate issue. No, at the retreat, we're gonna decide if we get together with each commission, if we talk to them individually, if we go to their meetings, if we ask them to come here. We don't need, as far as my understanding is, I don't think we need the full presentations. We need their ideas that are going to be vetted by the staff. I think that's the case, that we want the ideas to compile. We'll give our opinions. We get to decide if we throw some ideas out or include them. Then the staff is responsible for the vetting and the costs and all the rest. We got way into researching what it costs to ourselves to resurface the courts. We don't know that stuff. You know, that part we can pass on to city staff. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Did that clarify, Tiffany?
Yep.
Thank you. Good? Are we good about that?
Well, when do we have to submit it to the council? September? Or is it due date?
Technically, the work plan was due in April. According to the code.
through the chair. Based on that, I say we have our retreat as soon as possible. What does a Saturday on this month, in July, look like?
How about this Saturday?
We would need sufficient time to be able to comply with the Brown Act and post an agenda.
72,
Correct, so
72 hours, so Saturday would. Sure, 1, 2, yeah. Is anyone? That's enough time, Saturday. Can we do it this Saturday? And I'm asking because I leave town next week.
Yeah, I'll be out of town next week too.
Okay,
Madam Chair, we would also need to check staff's calendar as well.
so let me see.
What about the 21st?
A Sunday, how about the 20th, the
about
Saturday?
Oh, am I looking at September? Sorry,
Yeah, July 20th is fine.
July 20th, that's what I meant.
That's the anniversary of landing on the moon. That's a big project, so
I'm ready. That's a perfect day. Thank you, Dennis, for that. Count on a teacher to have that fact tucked away. Yes. So far, so good. But it's the summer, so hey. And that gives us plenty of time. That gives us plenty of time to get out to other folks and to,
That'll be here.
it would be here,
What time are you thinking?
early morning when we're fresh. How early can you come?
What time were you thinking?
Okay, 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock, yeah. I like 9 o'clock.
We could have it at Oldemeyer as well as here. Doesn't have to be. I prefer that room and then the conference room or.
Exactly.
Not. so-
We'd like to be in the conference room or
Preferably.
Oldmeyer. Oldemeyer's pretty busy on a Saturday.
The room, so.
Okay, so. We need a motion, I believe, on the retreat. And on that part of the process. All right,
I'll make the motion that we hold our annual retreats on Saturday, July 20th at 0900 at the here in City Hall
pending staff availability and,
with the addition of that.
I
Thank you.
second that.
thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask that you open public comment at this time.
Oh, before the vote.
Yeah.
Sorry. I always you told me I get that wrong. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? He's- That's fine. Okay,
I have a question.
yes, question.
So since we are setting up this retreat now, should we go ahead and set a date for a retreat maybe in January so that we can work on the 25-26 plan and get it into the city by April?
We could do that, but my understanding is that we need a long list. And the list will be ongoing. So it would be much easier than this, trying to fit into the budget and try to just choose different items. We'll just give them a long list. And
Right.
then what's left, we keep. And yes, we could do a January retreat.
I mean, I'm just saying
Yeah.
is we're so far behind this year and, you know, if we could just set the date. Well, he said it was supposed to be done by April and this is already July.
Wait.
He
What
said the
did I
work
miss?
plan is supposed to be in by
That's-
April. So to get
That's-
ahead for next year, why don't we set it so that we have it and we're ready by April?
So we're talking about two different things in my mind, so I'm gonna ask for clarification. The work plan that I saw on the website is a general work plan. It's not ideas submitted to the city council. That's the work plan that I understand we need to have by April, and I did submit that plan. It's a general plan about holding cleanups, about submitting ideas to city council. It's that kind of a plan. Now, this work plan, so I'm having trouble with the two different, this work plan is different. This is the submit ideas to city council.
It is really, the intent is really the same work plan. If you look at April, that is
Mhm.
just 3 months prior to the end of the fiscal year. So the work plan is submitted in April, vetted, and then taken to city council for approval so that when the new fiscal year begins on July 1st, funding is available for those projects. If I may, Madam Chair, selecting another retreat in January, that topic would have to be agendized for our next meeting. Right now, we're only working on this year's. So we would have to agendize it for the August meeting. And then at that time, you can have that discussion and select another date for the January.
I see. So I can request that we put that on the agenda.
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
But we don't find out how much monies we get from TOT until July for the funding of the projects. So how can you have a list done by April if you don't know the funds
And
you're
that
gonna spend?
the idea would be to have a quote unquote running list of projects, right? Which based on the funding, let's say you have 10 projects and we know the cost of each of these projects and say that specific, that funding for that fiscal year will only be able to cover 3 of those 10 projects. So you do those 3 projects, and then that list rolls over into the next year's budget. So it's an ongoing, continuous list of projects that you have.
That makes sense to me, but that isn't what we've done in the past.
Correct.
So this is a change. This is a fundamental difference in feeling. However, it makes a lot more sense as far as getting things done. We were rushing to get to council, and then the staff is rushing to get them done. The hair pulling out phone calls from Ms. Patel about what did you mean by this? What did you mean by this?
Right.
If we do have projects, we want some assurance that we will keep those funds.
And this is this is the type of discussion that we would be having at the retreat.
Ray, did you have?
Well, the only thing else I gotta say is, the city of Seaside is changing every day. So how can you put a list together and say, this is our list
Oh, that's gonna be
With-
way off.
with,
Do we really want to bring up it's the city of Seaside or the staff?
the city,
Okay, good.
the
All
city.
right.
I don't care about the staff right
Oh.
now. I know we're in trouble with that. So what I'm talking about is, we were told a long time ago it had to be part of the master plan of what projects we put forth. Okay, I didn't see anything up there about the master plan being affiliated with the master plans. So can I put sidewalks back on? And we live with that? Or can we start putting things on?
Let's save that for discussion at the retreat, and we will get some information.
Well, I need to know why I can
Capital-
start thinking about it.
Capital improvement projects are not in our purview, as far as I understand, but maybe they are. We have to get that clarified. We were told that we couldn't do the parking, the parking space, because that was a capital improvement, the extra handicap parking place. We were told that was a capital improvement project, so we couldn't, the sign is part of the, what's the name of the new development? It's part of that new development, so we aren't responsible for that new sign. So
Campus town.
Campus town, yeah. So, I'm running with confusion. I don't think there's anything up there that told us that we can't do sidewalks. But so maybe we could bring that up at the retreat. But I don't think we can.
I have a question.
Yes.
Isn't the Fernando where we put in 90 grand to Fernando, isn't that a capital improvement?
Well, that's
To a
a
park,
question
to
I
a
have. So
Piece of real estate that the city owns?
don't know the difference.
Yeah.
I,
So we
that's a
need clarification
clarification
on
that we can maybe get from staff before the 20th. Okay, so
I have to just say one thing. I'm very confused to go to a meeting on the 20th and I have no idea what we're gonna talk about. I have no idea. And,
With hours.
Okay. So,
and,
okay, hang on a sec. Can we,
yeah,
please stop?
that's all.
So what we're doing at this meeting is we're going to discuss our plan to get ideas from the community. Then if we have ideas ourselves, we'll put them on the list. And I think that's what we have to go with. If we need clarification before from staff, I'll get it. But I don't know. I think we're going to vote on the retreat. So we don't have public comment, so do you have public comment now?
Yeah.
Please, you certainly,
But.
state your name. And the whole-
Diane
Keep that, yeah.
Nielsen, City of Seaside resident. I think we do have the City of Seaside master plan. I mean, it goes for many, many years. It's easy to, have your projects based on that and get input from different committees. I don't think it's that confusing. The confusing part is not knowing how much money you're going to have and sort of a shot in the dark because staff can't tell you how much money is available. I mean, there is some disconnect between getting information from staff and you guys knowing, having some information that you can, some hard information that you can make decisions on. So that part's a little confusing. Saying it should have been done in April, I think everybody's late doing their work plans and submitting those. That's, you're no later than anybody else, I don't think. But I don't think there should be a lot of confusion. You kind of have been doing it already where, you've approved projects like the wrappings and trees and I don't know what else, I can't remember, but I think you don't have to change your whole way you're going. So anyhow, the other thing is if you have a retreat, the public would need to be invited, and having it in the conference room is probably not big enough. But that's my only comments. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That's a good point. Mr. Pacheco is joining public comment.
Because I will blow up. I will tell you on a personal level. Sometimes, and I'll keep it real simple, 8 words. If it's not broken, don't fix it, or fix it, don't, whatever. You worked really hard to get capital project. I'm going to leave it at that because I will blow up. So yeah, that's all I will say.
Thank
Can I
you.
ask you a question?
On a personal level.
Okay, okay.
The reason this came about is that I could not find a process written anywhere. I couldn't find any information about how to get that input. Except I was to go to all the meetings and announce it. So it didn't make sense to me. And also it says that we want community input. So commissioners, I guess, get information from the community, but it doesn't have to be restricted to just commissioners. It's the whole community. I just started a Facebook group page for us today. So we can announce it there for the community and on the Seaside Facebook page to get some ideas. And if we have ideas, then we can prioritize and put them down and submit them. That's just my idea. Tiffany?
Yeah,
have a comment?
so that we would be doing this, we would be talking about how we would get the community involved in our retreat, correct?
And ideas that we have for that.
Yeah.
list.
I'm good with that.
Good.
I think what we're doing is great. I think we did a great job last year. I only want to just move up the timeline and just start
I hear you.
earlier,
I hear you.
because I just think that this year they were scrambling. I don't know, maybe it just seems like they were working really hard to make things happen because they only had 6 months left in the fiscal year, because by the time everything was approved, then they started in January. They only had until the end of the month. If we were to get everything done, like he said, by April, and then they could start deciding on it and be ready to run with the ideas by 1 July, that would be ideal.
I agree. And we'll remind me and we'll put it on the agenda in January, February.
At number 6, yep, I will.
Okay, great. All right. Is there any more discussion? Then we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. This is for the date and the mission there. Any nays? No. Thank you all. All right, we're moving on to 5A and 5B go together for me, and Mr. Gonzalez has some information. I've asked for input for that.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have been able to look or locate the NIC's binder and have been able to get a little bit of information on House of the Month. in the past, this monthly, it was called a calendar, was developed, and each commissioner was assigned 2 squares, 2 grids. And my assumption is that you would drive the neighborhood or obtain input and select homes to be nominated for House of the Month. So that was the process. In terms of what the criteria for selecting that home, it's still unknown. So commissioners are assigned sections on the map. Nominations can also be made by residents. And then the nominated homes go through a selection criteria, which in this case, I would say it's to be determined. City staff vets the nominated homes and they will look at things such as, code violations, and ensure that the home has not received an award in the past. I was able to locate a list of homes that have been awarded in the past. And then once you look at the pool and sort through that pool, the NIC will then take their top homes and that would be up to you to determine, and make that selection and rate them through an award criteria, which again would be to be determined. Staff's recommendation is that the commission accept the staff's recommendation to develop the criteria for the House of the Month selection and award criteria at the NIC retreat. And I do have slides for all of these presentations, which I will give you hard copies of.
Okay. That's great, but we're clear on the process. We have the map. We assigned our houses. We developed some criteria. What we hit a roadblock with staff.
Mhm.
The roadblock was we couldn't get a list of previous houses. We couldn't get someone to take the photos. There isn't anybody to do that anymore. So that's the stopping point. The rest of the process is fine. We just haven't been able to do it because it got stopped in the emails to staff. So that's, we'll reiterate the criteria at the retreat. We will just not be having that many this year until we figure out if we vet the houses ourselves, be happy to, if we can get that list. So that's where, I think, Tiffany.
If you're done, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So in the past, I don't mind taking the pictures, but it was me that, the reason we stopped doing that was because a person in the neighborhood was questioning why I was taking a picture of their house. However, we do have name tags now.
Sure.
We didn't then. And so maybe we try taking the pictures ourselves, since there is no staff to do it. Maybe we decide exactly how many pictures we're gonna take, how many houses we're gonna enter. Cause I know I had a bunch. Okay, I'm guilty. I did.
Thank you.
Because there are a lot of pretty houses. But if we said only 5 houses, Tiffany, I would only take pictures of 5 houses, or I would only nominate 5. But I mean, I'd be okay with driving around and taking the pictures. I'll wear my name tag, and then maybe the city could put it on their website just to alert the public that we will be out there doing that.
That's that's a great solution to it. The photos, I don't think, are a huge problem with name tags. Even a business card or a written, we're here to take photos because you've been nominated as one of, possible House of the Month. But according to that past slide there, it should also be open to the public for nominations. And I haven't seen that on the website or found it. So, yes.
Being a man and going into a neighborhood and taking pictures with kids being around. You don't get accused. I've never been accused. But once you get labeled one time, your career's over. And I do not put myself out there. So I will not take pictures.
Okay,
It's. I think the city could take pictures. Have the policeman do it while they're driving. Yeah, in their city car, or let us drive a city car, whole different thing, but.
okay. So we will discuss this at the retreat. We'll decide if we just need staff to do it, we will let staff know that that's something we need them to do. And if they can't do it, then we can't do House of the Month. If that's what we decide.
And I think we have to go by the criteria again, because
I will bring
Few
it
of
to
us
the
are
next meeting.
confused on
I'll
that too.
bring it to the retreat, but we talked about it, we decided. So, but yes,
Can I add one more thing? I noticed on that map that it had specific months for specific areas. Do we have to hold to that? Because I had Hannon and I had Del Monte Heights and I was doing it in February and March rather than, I think it was April and May. So we don't have to hold to the months.
No, you can,
No.
you can revise that map and the process as you
Okay.
see fit.
thank you. All right, I don't think
Through the
we,
chair, just like one last question. I'm a little confused as to the recommendation it seems to, I'm taking it as that we're missing something in our vetting process. We're missing an item. And staff is making that recommendation to include this item. Am I seeing it correctly? Are we missing something or? In our criteria that we're missing something. And you know, we've always went up according to certain criteria, but the recommendation, it's sounding like the staff wants to make a recommendation to include, you know, to make this your criteria, and we're not getting something. Is that, am I misreading?
The question that was posed to staff at prior meetings was what has been the process for selecting home of the month? Unfortunately, I could not find any documented process, which I'm hoping that if we have this conversation at the retreat, that we can document this and we can have a written process for how you select what you're looking for in a home and how you approach a property owner or a resident when you're going to take a picture. And then what is the rating criteria? So you may all select, let's say 5 homes each. So you've got 30 homes. Based on that, how are you as a committee going to agree on which homes fit your nomination criteria best? And let's say you whittle that down to 5 homes. Now you go through a rating criteria, a scoring criteria. And of those 5 homes, whichever home ranks the highest would be your selected home. Now that is a suggestion. That's a suggestion,
Good one.
Mhm.
I like it.
right?
that was brought up before. And we came up with a rough criteria, we'll just finalize it.
Right. So in the future, the process is written down and it, you know, other
The commission.
commissions would be able to follow that.
And do you have a business of the quarter as well?
Yes.
I don't think we have anything to vote on there, just except you do for just more discussion or a vote for the House of the Month part? Oh, okay, no, I'm finishing up the House of the Month, sorry, I wasn't clear. Yeah, and then the next one is 5B, business of the quarter.
Business of the quarter and
Similar discussion. So,
yeah, the discussion would be, it's identical. Identical.
yeah, so. No, because I haven't. That's why I brought this up, so.
So. Madam Chair, I'm sorry. There is a vote needed on the recommendation correct, for the House of the Month.
I'll
And-
make,
Make a motion and then
And then-
it's open to public comment after that.
so, I'll make the motion that we do include the criteria and nominating process, in voting process, for House of the Month in our, upcoming retreat.
Aye.
Madam Chair.
Oh, discussion, excuse me. Is there any public discussion? Sorry. I'm getting tired. Any public discussion on House of the Month? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Business of the quarter is your next.
Madam Chair, as I mentioned earlier, the process is very similar for business of the quarter. Commissioners nominate a restaurant. Nominations can be made by customers or residents. There is selection. There's a criteria for the selection of the nominated business. Staff vets the business, code violations, or have not received the award in the past. And then the NIC selects the business to receive the award. And again, very similar process with just a slight difference for quarter of the for business of the quarter. Recommendation is the commission accept,
Bless you.
bless you,
Sorry.
that the commission accept staff's recommendation to develop criteria for business of the quarter selection and award criteria at the NIC retreat.
Okay, so there any questions about this?
No questions. I mean, we're just gonna
We're
come up
just
with a
gonna make a
criteria.
motion
of it.
and vote on it.
So I'll make the motion that we do include business of the quarter as well, in our retreat.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Any discussion on this one? What discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, any opposed? I think that was all. Thank you so much. All right. And now, updates.
Madam Chair, at our last meeting, a request was made for a project update on this past year's project. So as you recall, there were initially 15 projects on the list. The first project is not included because I believe that was banners on Fremont Street, I believe. So that was that project was canceled. So Catino Park, the three picnic benches, they have been installed. That's completed. Neighborhood watch program, that has not been started. The artwork for the utility boxes is in progress. The mural at Catino Park has been completed. And repair of the Wheeler tennis courts, that is in progress. The tree giveaway was completed. And the 4 benches on General Jim Moore, those are on order. The City of Seaside Welcome sign that was canceled, as you are aware. And the Fernando Park walkway, that's been completed. The bike racks, that project is in progress. I believe the racks have been ordered. Christmas tree decorations for Fremont, those decorations have been ordered. The mural at Oldemeyer, too, that work is in progress. And the electric announcement sign at Oldemeyer, that project has been canceled. And the tennis court screens, that's been completed. And that concludes my update on the projects.
Thank you so much for that one. It is great to see all the completed ones. Does anyone have any questions?
I've got,
One,
yes,
2, 3.
I've got one. Thank you. So this list does not include ongoing projects. Nothing's have a beginning and end date, such as the ongoing cleanups or smoke alarm, things that are just on a yearly basis and they come and go, but we expect them.
That is correct. This is a list of those projects that were, in a sense, capital improvement projects.
except they aren't.
Correct.
But those should be included on our work plan.
Mhm.
Right.
Always, and we can't just forget that we do.
Right. So these projects that are currently in progress will be added to your work plan because they are in progress and they've not been completed.
Great.
Only the ones that are in progress, not the ones that are completed. Those will fall off.
Those will fall off, yes.
Right?
The two that were canceled, can you just give us a quick of why they were canceled? One was the sign and the other one is the electric. announcement
correct.
sign.
Yeah, the welcome sign was as part of, unfortunately, as part of the budget process. That was canceled. It was canceled based, again, based on budget. As part of the budget process.
But didn't we have funds allocated for that?
There were funds allocated for that. However, when the full scope of the project was reviewed, it appeared that the project funding may not have been enough. With that said, that project is not entirely let's just say dead. There are other projects, there are other developments that will be looking at placing gateway signs throughout the city. And this is one of those areas.
Okay, that is a pet project of ours that we really want to see pull through to fruition. I mean, that is really something we want to see happen.
Great. And I will, again, it's something that we can put on the list, but we will have to vet it once again and make sure and confirm the costs of that. And then we would present it to the city council for their approval.
And this might be a question to bring up at city council,
Oh, I will.
if I'm not sure, but I heard other things about why it was more postponed than canceled, was my understanding from the meeting that I listened to. So,
I'm sorry.
and the only other one that was canceled was the
The-
electronic announcement.
The electronic announcement sign at Aldermeyer, I believe there was approximately $15,000 budgeted or allotted for that particular project. The cost of a sign, an electronic sign that would meet the needs, the cost was much, much higher than that.
And that's what I also heard in the meeting and that was that's fine. There we go. Okay, thank you for the update. Have you all been to see the mural? My God. Go and see the mural. That's completed. The others are underway. And a lot of work has gone into those. Coutinho. Thank you so much, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you very much. I know you put a lot of research into that, so thank you. Do you? The projects that are included in progress. So there was nothing to vote on for the update on project status, but I think I still open to public comment. So, sorry about that. Diane, do you have a comment? Yes.
Diane Nielsen, Seaside resident. My question about that list that we just saw was 2 items were unaffordable, but that doesn't make sense that one of those 2 didn't get done because the money from one of them could have been put in the project for the North Fremont sign. So my question is, why wasn't that done? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sure we can we could probably ask that at a city council meeting as well. Thank you. So moving on to reports from commissioners. Yes. You want to start?
Madam Chair, may I ask you to close public comment?
Sorry, close public comment.
Do we have any monies from TOT for this budget? It's supposed to come out July 1st.
There is a budget for the NIC, and that budget, that number right now stands at just slightly over $390,000. And 90,000, slightly over that.
That's 50%. That's 50% of what we're supposed to get.
That is my understanding. That is my understanding. Correct.
Um, and then the second thing I'd like to bring up is, I wasn't here, but I guess there was a budget that occurred on June 12th and 13th. But none of us went to represent NIC to fight for our projects. Like the signing and things like that, that we could have maybe next year. Just talk about one of us or two of us going to that. That's all. I won't
Thank
be
you.
in Portugal, I'm sure, so
Thank you.
maybe Italy. No, just kidding.
Other commissioner reports?
That's
I would like to move that we add set a date for a retreat in early next year, like January or February, so that we could discuss projects. It says that we could add it to the agenda right now. It says that on number
Yep.
6.
No, it's absolutely, that's to add to a future agenda.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so I would like to add it to the agenda so that for next month, so that we could set that date for January or February.
For next month. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Other commissioner? Thank
Yes,
you.
I would just like to mention that, again, another concerned citizen of Seaside paid to have a gardener go out to Canyon Del Rey and Del Monte, our Seaside sign, had that all cleaned up at their expense. And it was just full of weeds. After the spring comes and poppies give us all this glory, it's beautiful, but then when they die, a lot of weeds come up, and I just want to remind everyone that that was done by a concerned citizen. Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed that too. Dennis?
Thank you. And I would just like to add to next month's agenda as well as just talking about, I think we generally have a date already decided for our fall cleanup, but go over any issues we might need to have. So just discuss it. And just a comment, I'm looking forward to our city council speaking with the city attorney and see how the Supreme Court's decision on cities dealing with I guess people can't sleep in public places anyway, how that pans out and see if there's something in there that they might ask us to do. So I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Do you have a report? No.
Can I bring up one more thing?
One more?
About the Seaside sign, we've gone through that so many times. Can we allocate money to the gardeners or whoever to pay for it to be cleaned every month?
Let's put that on our list. That seems to fit in
Wouldn't
what
that?
we can do.
Yeah.
That's a great
That's-
idea. Bring it to the retreat.
Yeah,
And I
I
will
will.
make a note of that too. I was
So if we-
just on my way out to clean it out and I saw it done. I was so pleased because my back didn't want to do that. I have just a quick report. Spent the day Saturday installing the new artwork in City Hall, and we have a couple of people here represented on those walls, Marty Sella and myself. These are all of the Seaside artists who participate in the art tour in September, and each of them has 4 or 5 pieces up, and it was a wonderful experience to work with Sandra on installing them, and take a look, pretty cool. Any other commission reports? Last chance, and I move to adjourn the meeting. Oh, we need a move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Nah, oh, wait,
Aye.
I didn't turn the page. I'm tired. Sorry, you still have our reports from staff. That's why I always forget it. You.
Madam Chair, no report from staff.
Thank you so much. Sorry. That was good. All right. Now, all in favor of adjourning the meeting?
Aye.
Gotta hit your gavel.